rather noisy from time to time here, but I'm just getting this bit of filming first with these old houses called the old stables. And here we go. I'll explain why in a minute. Got a little bit of age to them, these. Well, it's about 20 to 6 and it's a Sunday morning in the middle of August 2022, and although this may well be the first of the winter series of places you didn't know to go out, it is actually my last Sunday morning's filming for the year, because it's now too late to go out filming. We've lost those very early sunny mornings when there's nobody about, and I'm on the A22 and it's getting busy, and I'm looking at what was the Golden Cross Inn, because today we're visiting the parish of Chiddingly, which is quite a large parish. It's spread over about 7 square miles, which maybe doesn't sound a lot, but if you took those 7 square miles and put them in a straight line, in order for me to walk all the way around the perimeter, I'd have to walk 16 miles. So the car's going to be used quite extensively this morning to take me to and from bits and pieces. Golden Cross Inn, yes, one of 4 pubs that have been in the Chiddingly parish over the years. There's the 6 Bells in Chiddingly itself, the Gun Hill, they're still going, and there's another one called the Inn on the Park, which is down at another extremity of Chiddingly, down at Deanham Wood Caravan Park. I'm not going down there this morning, but that will probably form the starting point of one of my adventures next year. The strange thing is, we're here at Golden Cross and I'm actually standing in, oh look, the moon. Don't think I can really get too close to it today. I love the way, I'm sorry for the shakiness, I love the way as you zoom closer. No, it's too far away for me to get the zoom working, otherwise you go into the black. Anyway, this was the point at which the road from Muddles Green would come down and cross the main London to Eastbourne road, and the buses would come up from Brighton, and this is where they would terminate, and they'd sit beside the pub here, just there on that spot. And I'm wondering if this is where the old turnpike road, you know, in a later video that's going out when I visit Battle, I discussed the old toll road that went from Battle right across to Ringmer, and I'm wondering if this is the point at which it crossed the London to Eastbourne road. I'll explain why a little later on, but we're going to embark on a little tour around Chiddingly now. There's still an antique shop here, but they were little stores at one time. Nowadays you can buy all your stuff in the 24-hour Londis. Anyway, if you thought Rome was Roman enough, there's a little bit of Romanness about Chiddingly, because although the topography was a lot different in those days, it's actually founded on 7 hills. I've got to try and remember them. Holmes Hill, Sanders Hill, Scrapers Hill, Stone Hill, Pick Hill, Berg Hill or Burr Hill. That's only 6. Dundas Hill, Scrapers Hill, Stone Hill, Pick Hill, Gun Hill, Berg Hill, and Holmes Hill. Yeah, of course, quite obvious, isn't it? Holmes Hill, Dundas Hill, Berg Hill, Pick Hill, Stone Hill, Scrapers. Yeah, I think I've got all 7. Anyway, let us progress on our tour around the village of Chiddingly. Now in Holmes Hill, and I found something quite interesting. This little building here has been known as the Wattle over many years, and it's been a tea room, it's been a hairdresser's, but I notice now they say they're selling Sussex trugs. I don't know if we can see in the window. I have a friend whose husband is an absolutely top-notch Sussex trug maker, so Kerry, if you're watching this, have you got competition? Or is your old man's trugs on sale out here? Some evidence here of some of the older buildings in the area. I say older, 18th century, 19th century, that kind of thing. This is an interesting one here. It was an old mill years ago, the millstone's still there, but it's been extensively modernised in recent years. There it is, Holmes Hill House, but I believe there was a mill here. What I find interesting are these, you might say, Gothic revival windows, but I have a feeling that this is a little bit deceptive, shall we say, and ancient buildings have been very cleverly and actually quite attractively moulded into something new. Very interesting. Then we come down to Watson's cottage. And it's amazing how the cars slow down when they see me holding something in my hand. But I wanted just to come down this far because you always get places of worship, even in the tiniest of hamlets. And there is the old Holmes Hill Methodist Chapel. I think, what do they call it now? Holmes Hall or something like that. Let's have a look and see if we can read it. Yes, Broad Oak Hall they call it. That's now obviously converted to a dwelling. And this basically is Holmes Hill. Now on the very busy A22. And I'm getting out of here. Actually I couldn't get out of here without taking a look at the side of this barn here. But, you see the old herringbone brickwork and the timbers. Now a lot of that particular style goes back to the 15th century or so. I somehow don't think this building is that old. But if this is a modern recreation, I say modern, I mean it's got to be a couple of 100 years old at least, the original parts of it, then I think it's been very cleverly done. A little bit of interest hidden down the side, and this main road is getting too noisy, and it's not even 6 o'clock. Now I've come up to probably what is the northern extremity of Chiddingly. I'm at Whitesmith, and you see why I hate filming when everybody's about. And this was once a thriving little community all of its own. There are some older cottages on the main road, but it's too dangerous for me to go up there and film them. But this used to be, I remember this, when this house here, and they call it the White House, but this used to be the village stores and post office. And although I can't really go in there, don't quite know what they've done there, but there is the post box that used to be in the window. And that is a really unusual one. Look at that. Hold it steady. GR. George Rex. George the 5th? George the 6th? I wonder. Anyway, that is probably the oldest post box that I've seen. And as I say, this was the post office and the village stores. There's some renovations going on, but nowadays I'm sure quite a pleasant dwelling. But it must be so noisy. A nice little, what appears to be a weeping willow here. So there must be a pond in the garden. But now going to head up and around the back way to Chiddingly itself. Well, the sun is just coming up now. Cows are lowing in the field, and there is the spire of Chiddingly Church. And the call to worship would have been heard far and wide, including from one John Jeffrey, who was the Chief Baron of the Treasury. I suppose you'd call him the Chancellor of the Exchequer, wouldn't you? Or Chief Baron of the Exchequer. Excuse me, to Elizabeth I, and who is buried in Chiddingly churchyard. And he lived in what became Chiddingly Place. This quite extensive manor house, which is behind me here, complete with these rather unusual chimneys and the sun just beginning to shine in there. Now, this building in some shape or form has been there since before the 16th century, and it's quite probable, as is often the case, that these chimneys were a later addition when it was renovated in something like 1574 or thereabouts, when chimneys were becoming a thing. And look at the unusual design, isn't that interesting? I don't know whether by going into this entrance here I will actually be able to get a better view. Now look at that. The trouble is, I'm out early in the morning. To people it must seem very suspicious, but what I want to draw your attention to, oh, I can go a bit further, I will go a little bit further. See the unusual design in this wall here. I'm just going to walk on the grass, which will probably be a bit wet. It's quite cool this morning considering how hot it was yesterday. Very, very pleasant. There's a walled garden here and various outbuildings. There you see the one of them there, and some more modern touches put in recent years. But you still get the idea of the history of the place. Like I say, it's been around a long time. I feel much better now I'm away from the main road, but it's still, I can hear some geese, a dog, pigeons, the sound of the countryside in late August or mid-August, harvest time. I see they're calling this Jefferay House now. And it looks as though there's been quite a bit of modern work done on that here. Look, you can see, preserving what was best of the old. Anyway, let us head on into the village and see what we can find there. Well, I'm now in the street in Chiddingly, and here is the Six Bells, one of the most famous pubs in Sussex. There's quite a well-known festival goes on here at Chiddingly every year. I think they now call it Chidfest. It used to be known as the Chiddingly Festival. Music, all sorts of things go on. I can remember coming here, folk singing. I can hear it's a one of those. Some lovely old buildings here in Chiddingly. This building here, which adjoins Six Bells, there we can see the date on the wall, 1774. And then another one that says 1974. I don't know what's going on there. It's quite an interesting plaque. Very interesting designs here, some of them. I do find these things interesting. The trouble is you have to come out early, really early, to film them properly when there's nobody about. And then if anybody gets up early, they can hear you rambling away to yourself. How would you like to live out here, eh? Nice row of cottages there. Cordwainers. Now, I wonder if that's got anything to do with rope building. Rope making. Well, you know me, I couldn't let that one rest without looking into it further, and I suppose the only thing anywhere near correct with rope with these people was probably the shoelaces or bootlaces. The cordwainers were the makers of footwear using new leather. Under ancient rules, you were either a cordwainer and you then were able to make new footwear with new leather, or you were a cobbler and you were only allowed to repair and use old leather. Hence, I suppose, we got the thing cobbling things together, which I found interesting. I mean, nowadays, excuse me, we tend to call a cobbler anybody who makes or repairs shoes, but the cordwainers are still there. They were incorporated in 1439 into a royal charter as the Worshipful Company of Cordwainers. Maybe they call themselves cordners, I don't know. But these were the craftsmen shoemakers, and you would have found them all over the country, particularly in places like this, which seem very small now, but several hundred years ago would probably have been major centres of the industry of the time and a centre of excellence for crafts for the area. There is still a college, I understand it, where you can go and you can study for a certificate and you can become a member of the Worshipful Company of Cordwainers. It used to be independent, now I think it's part of the London School of Fashion. So there you are. Yew Tree House. That's another interesting old building, but lots of cars in front of them. Anyway, that is what I suppose we would now call the northern bit of the street in Chiddingly. But there's a couple more buildings I want to show you before I move round to the church. I think that's a rather nice touch that they've got a very well advertised defibrillator on the wall of the pub. Chiddingly used to be quite a thriving little village. There's the old draper's cottage. Indicates the type of shop you would have found here, but thanks to my friend Bonnie in Brighton, who showed us a picture of this building, I can look at it before it perhaps finally gets lost forever. The old village stores and grocers, Draper's Grocers. And the post box. Although this isn't an old one. No, that's definitely ER. Shame, I would have liked to have seen even GR on there. But anyway, that's a little gem hidden round the corner. And there's another one. How lovely. Right, let's jump back in the car and go round and have a look at the church. And that will be where we begin part 2. So do come and join me
for that.